Hi guys, good morning. Okay. Uh, yeah, guys. Yesterday we have just saw how to perform a CRUD operation using this entity manager. Okay. In that, guys, do you have any doubts? Enough, like in that CRUD operation, guys. Do you have any doubts? Hello. Sorry, guys. Do you have any doubts in that CRUD operation with entity manager? Everything is clear. Yeah. Fine. Cool. Then. Okay. So now, like, okay. So did you observe that yesterday? Like we were just fetching the student details. Okay, so we are just fetching the student details based on the ID. I didn't explain about fetch the student with like completely what are the student informations will be present inside our database, okay, or inside the table. How many students details will be there? All the student details I didn't fetch, right? So because to perform this operation to fetch all the students from the table or from the database, we don't have any default method. Okay, so we don't have any default method. That method, they did provide the method to fetch complete information from the database. Now we need to write some logic to fetch the, yes, sorry, we need to write some logic to fetch the details from the uh, RDBMS application. If I want to receive complete information, so I need to go for making a some implementation. I need to provide some implementation, then I can get that one. Okay, so today we will see that how to fetch a list or yeah, so how to fetch that complete information of a table. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, sorry. Yeah. So I said like we need to go for creating a some implementation has to be provided. Then we can fetch the details. Okay. So I will just share my Eclipse, and we will see what is the implementation we need to provide. How to fetch a complete information of a table. Okay. Now, yeah. In this DAO, I will write one more class. I'm going to declare one more class. As next. Yeah. So class name I will give it as student DAO 2. Okay, and I will add the main method and I'll just create a class. Okay, cool. Okay, now let us provide implementation. Okay, so as usual, I need to have that entity manager factory only I need to have. Okay, so just create that entity manager factory, and then I need to Yeah, so I need to create a reference variable for this entity manager factory. I need to create an object. To create an object, I will be making use of this persistence class create entity manager, and here I am just passing the persistent unit name. Sorry. So here just I will be passing the persistence unit name. Okay. Then, so once that is done, then I need to create an entity manager object. Entity manager equal to using this factory reference variable, I can invoke a method called create entity manager, which helps me to create an object for this entity manager. Okay. And simultaneously, I will create the entity transaction object also. Entity transaction equal to using this manager reference variable, I will create a transaction object. Okay, so get transaction by invoking this get transaction method, I'll be creating a object for the transaction. Okay, then now I said okay, so we need to provide some implementation to fetch all the information which is present inside that. Uh, yeah, so present inside a table. Okay, so to get all the data from a table in Hibernate, we will go for making use of JPQL query, guys. Okay, so there is something called as a JPQL query. We will be using this JPQL query to fetch or get all the details, all the data from the database. So here JPQL stands for it's a persistence query language. Okay, so JPQL is a persistence query language. It stands for Jakrath persistence query language. Okay, so that definition or the full form of this JPQL is Jakrath persistence query language. Okay, so we will be making use of JPQL query in this scenario. So JPQL queries we will be using here. It's a like okay, so yes, so JPQL is a Jakarta query language. So by using these JPQL queries, we will write to so we will write here implementation and we can fetch the complete details of the data table. Okay, so whatever the data is present inside the table that can be fetched. Okay, now let us see how the okay. So now so the scenario is that like I need to fetch the Jakrat is naming kind of like why? Because like Jakrat is nothing but Java Enterprise Edition. Okay, so this Java was a patent by this Oracle people. Okay, and if anyone wants to use that, so they need to take a permission from this Oracle people. So to avoid that one, this is the name they have introduced. Jakrat. That's all. Nothing but a Java only. Okay, where I was. Yeah, so in this JPQL query, okay, so it is used in which entity name and variable name is used. Okay, so if you want to write a JPQL query, in that JPQL query, we need to write our entity name. Entity name is nothing but our class name. What is the class name we are going to declare? That class name we need to use, and what is the variable name inside that particular class will be there, so that we will be using that. Okay, so let us see how to provide or how this JPQL query will be look like. So first what I'm going to do is just I will write a query string query query is equal to sorry, yeah. So here, so now I need to write a query, or I need to provide implementation to fetch complete detail from my table, right? So what I'm going to do is just I will write the select query. Select. So previously, like in JDBC and all, like we used to use the star. Okay, so instead of that, I will use S alias. Okay, so select S from. So in the previously, okay, so we used to use, okay, in our which one, sorry, in JDBC API and all. So we used to use the database name, right? We used to use database name and the table name. Okay, so here I'm not going to make use of database name and table name. Instead of that, my Pojo class or the this entity class. Okay, so student entity class. This name I'll be making use of it. Okay, so I will be making use of this entity class name student. Okay, and then I will give the alias name. Okay, so that is yes. That's all. So this is the query. Now let us see. Okay, so yeah, so we have the query. Yeah, so once the query is created, okay, then I need to create an object for this my query. Okay, so I need to go for execute this query, right? To execute this query in Hibernate, we have on this entity manager, we have a method like create a query. Create a query which accepts the query in the form of a string, and it returns me a object for the query. Okay, so it is going to return me a object for this query. Okay, so let us try to create that one. Okay, so two equal to, and then using this queue, I will be invoking a method. Okay, so get result list. Okay, so I will be invoking a method like get result list. So now, so this query, okay, so sorry, this method is going to return me a list of object. Okay, so this method is going to return me a list of object. Now let us use a reference variable to store, yeah, so declare reference variable as list, or else we can go for declaring reference variable as student. Yes, okay, and I will try to declare local variable students of type list. And now let us see, guys. Okay, so I will provide an implementation to print. Just I will go with a simple for each loop. So simple for each loop and iterate over this students. Okay, of type. So I need to just go for. Go. Okay, let us take this object only. And yeah, so let us try to typecast. Okay, so here before, so once again I will make it show student. Yeah, fine. Okay, fine. So I'll make it as student, and I'll just do stu. Fine. Fine. So now let us try to display on the our console. Okay, so what is the object we are going to receive? So we'll run this program and we will see. Yeah. Okay. So guys, you can see. Okay. So what I have done is simple. Okay. I have just created the same usual entity manager object. Okay, so that I can perform some operation on my with the RDBMS application. So here I have added some more details. Okay, so I have provided some more implementation so that I can fetch the complete data from my database. Okay, so you can see I have written some query. Okay, so I have written some query. Okay, so this is the query form, or this is the query which helps us to interact with the our particular table to fetch the complete details, right? So in JDBC and all, or in normal query, if you want to write there, we will be using like select star from student, right? So it is a as this is a JPQL query we need to use, and we need to perform some operation over in the Hibernate. So we will be writing the query in such a way that, okay, so select, instead of star we will write s from, following by, okay, so previously like we used to write the table name or a database followed by the table name we used to write. So instead of that, so here we will write the entity name or a Pojo class. Okay, whatever the class we will be having Pojo class. So it's the class name or the entity class name. Okay, so we will call this student class also entity class. Okay, so whatever the class name we will be giving, the same name we need to mention into my query. So followed by what is the yeah, so what is the variable you have been using? Okay, so if you are using s, so that s aligns. Okay, so we need to create this one. Okay, so student as s I have just created. Then sorry, then after creating this query, okay, so now I need to execute. Okay, so I need to inform, okay, so Hibernate, this is the query I am creating. Okay, and you need to execute this query. So to perform that, or to inform to my Hibernate, okay, so inside this entity manager we have a method like create query. Okay, so we have a method, create query. Okay, which accepts a string argument in a, what is the query we need to execute with respect to any RDBMS table, that will be taken in a form of a string inside this create query method. And as soon as I will pass and invoke this create query method, it is going to give me a object. Okay, so it is going to give me an object of type query interface. Okay, so this is the query which is present in the inside that java x dot persistence package. Okay, so where so by using this query, okay, so by using this query interface object, so we can perform all the operation which we require, like to fetch the student details. Okay, so here also we can write the query based on our need. Okay, so suppose if I want to fetch the student details based on their name, so here also I can write a query and I can execute. Okay, so we will see that one. Okay, so we will see that one. So yeah, so as I'm fetching the complete information from the database, so this is the query, guys. Select s from student s, then I need to create a object for the query type. Okay, so to perform that one, I'm just invoking this create query method. Sorry, I'm just invoking the create query method from the entity manager class, which helps me to create an object for that particular interface. So once that object has been created, then by using that object, okay, I'm invoking a method called get result list. Okay, so here I'm just invoking the get result list method. So here, so as I'm getting the list of students, okay, so I just created a like list of students, reference variable as students, and after that just I went with a simple for each loop and iterate over the for each loop to display the student details. So you can see, as if I execute, this is the output I'm getting. Yeah, so you can see the query is like select student ID as ID, student age, student name from the student. Okay, so that was the query that has been converted into our Hibernate, and then it has been given to us. Okay, so you can see, so these are the information which are present in my database. Let us try to insert one of the student details, and then I will try to fetch the complete. Okay, so I will try to fetch, we'll see what happens. Okay, to save. Okay, so just I will, yeah, so we have the previous code in the student DAO update. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just I will create one more class. Let us go for one more class, and I will give it as a, okay, so student DAO 3. Let us have a main method. Now you guys can, anyone can say, okay, so okay, so guys, can anyone guide me how to insert and student information into my database by using Hibernate? You can unmute yourself and you can talk. Yeah. So guys, you can see the query is working perfectly, not an issue. Okay. So try to execute this one. Once that is done, let me know. We will go for one more query. Okay. So try to fetch the students based on their name. We will write a query. Fine. Okay, so guys, to perform that list, okay, so it is java.util.list interface. Fine. Srinivas is saying I am getting output like this hibernate.java.student at the rate 1EE479E. Fine. So that is what we called as a hash code. Yeah. So hash code value you are getting. Uh, you need to override the two string method inside that your hibernate.java.student class. Who is that RL? What is sorry, what is the error you are receiving? Fine. Done, guys. Guys, do you have any questions? Working fine. Cool. Fine. Okay. So let us create one more class. Okay. So let us create one more class and try to fetch the student based on their name. Okay. So based on their name, so we will try to fetch. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will try to inject another two student details. Okay. So another two student details I will try to inject. Uh, okay. Just run this and I will check. Okay, yeah. So guys, you can see, yeah. So the student details I have in my database are the student details inside my database. I have a Dingy, again one more Dingy, Sai Nitin Reddy, V Kavita, and Sangeeta Kumari is there. Okay, so now let us try to fetch V Kavita's details based on their name. Okay, so based on their name, we will try to fetch the fetcher object. Okay, so from the table. Now, like to fetch based on the name, again, we don't have any method. Okay, so we need to provide implementation. What I'm going to do is just I will declare one more class. Okay, so this time I'm going to give the class name as test one or yeah, so test A. I will give the class name as test A. I will add a main method for that class, and then so this is how I have just created the class. Okay, then so I need to interact with Hibernate so that I can Hibernate will help me to interact with the RDBMS application. So if you want to interact with Hibernate, I need to create an object for the entity manager. Again, entity manager object has to be created. Then we need to have an entity manager factory reference variable. Okay, so inside this only we have that. Yeah, so inside this entity manager factory only we have a helper method which helps us to provide the entity manager object. Okay, to create an object for the entity manager factory, so we will make use of this persistence class, and inside this we will just create so we will just call a method like create entity manager factory by passing a persistence unit name. So by passing the persistence unit name, I can uh, create an object for that particular entity manager factory. Now let us create an object for the entity manager reference unit manager equal to, so by using this factory I'm going to create, I'm going to invoke a method create entity manager which helps me to create the manager object. Done. Then yeah, so entity transaction. So transaction equal to manager. So inside this manager we have a method get transaction. Okay, inside my entity manager we have a method get transaction, which helps me to give an object for the transaction. Sorry, so which helps me to give an object for this entity transaction. Okay, now so then I will just yeah, so now what I'm going to do is so I said like we don't have any yeah, so we don't have any methods. Okay, so default method so that based on which I can fetch the name of a particular user. Okay, so what I can do is just I can go for writing a JPQL query. Okay, so which helps us to deal with a particular table. Okay, so the query will be like select S from. So from which entity we need to create? Okay, so for which entity? So this Kavita, yeah. So Kavita's information is present in the student table. Okay, but that table will be created based on one entity class. Okay, so here just I need to mention the entity class name is student. Okay, so as S. So then I need to fetch based on some condition. That is okay. So based on the where, okay. So based on their name, okay. So student name I need to fetch. Okay. So what I need to do is where s dot. Okay. So in this student s dot. Okay. Inside the student class, we have an attribute called as name. Okay. So we have an attribute called as name. Okay. So I need to fetch this based on my name and equal to I will pass the placeholder. Okay. So I will just pass the placeholder here. Okay, so just I will pass the placeholder and then I will give the position for the placeholder here only. Okay, so the position for the placeholder I will give here as 1. Okay, so I'll give this one here and let me try. Okay, so then again I need to use this manager dot create. So create a query which accepts this query object reference variable and then I will yeah, so this will help me to give a object for the type query. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just by using this I will invoke get uh, the result list. Okay, so let us get the list only, then we will provide implementation to get single. Fine. So then I will go for declare a student. Okay, so student information will be there. So I'll create a local variable of type from list of student. Okay, so list of student. Now try to iterate. Okay, so just I will go with the simple for each, sorry, yeah. So simple for each loop and try to iterate this one. Okay, and then I will try to display on the browse console. So what is the student value I have received? Okay, so now yeah, here I just place the placeholder. Okay, so I didn't set the value for that my placeholder, right? So now I need to set the value. Okay, so I need to set the value for the placeholder. So what I'm going to do is so just I will use. Okay, so after this creation of this query, we will be having a reference variable of query. Okay, so here I can invoke a set method. Okay, so set. Uh, So I can invoke a method like set parameter, okay, and which will accepts in position of the placeholder and what is the object we need to pass. Okay, position of the placeholder is 1 I will pass the name. Okay, so inside this position I will pass this V Kavita's name. And now let us run this. So we are getting that complete. Okay, so we are getting a details of Kavita. You can see, guys. Okay, so we are getting the details of Kavita, right? So just give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine, guys. Yeah. So where I was. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So guys, so this is how we can write the JPL query. Okay, so we can go for this placeholder. Okay, here we this is not okay. So it is not necessary to mention it as a one also. Okay, I can mention it as a three. And yeah, so while setting the parameter, what is the position or placeholder value you are given as three? Okay, and you need to pass that number numerical value we need to pass. Okay, so what is the position you are given that numerical value that has to be passed here, and then just go for execute. Yeah, you can get. Okay, so you will get the same output. So it is not mandatory to go with one only. Okay, so any number you can, any digits you can make use of it. Okay, so preferred is one because like we will be having only one placeholder. So usually like we will go with one only, and it is not mandatory to go with one on one always. Okay, so you can use any number, not an issue. Try to execute this and check. Yeah, try to execute and check whether you are getting the output or not, guys. Okay, so guys, those who are done with this, okay, can you write a query to fetch the student details whose age is greater than okay, so yeah, so greater than 23 years. So whose age is greater than 23 years. So guys, similarly, you need to write a query, okay, or create one more program where you need to write, okay, so write a logic to fetch or to get the get the student details whose age is greater than 22 or 23. Let us go with 22. Okay, so let us go with 22, whose age is greater than 22. Fine. So will you create or will you go for writing a query? Will you execute and check? Okay, so execute and check. I will give you 5 to 10 minutes time. Then we will see. I will explain the logic. Try, guys. Okay. So, guys, okay, I will write the query for this scenario. Okay, so to get the details, student details whose age is greater than 22. Let us see how to. Can you explain yesterday's topic? So, okay, so I will declare one more class. I'm going to declare a test B. Okay, and I will add a main method create. So here, let me create the object for all this like entity manager, transaction, and factory all. Okay, so just go for creating an object for entity manager factory dot create entity manager by passing the persistence unit name. Fine. So once that is done, then I need to create an entity manager object. So we'll create entity manager equal to by using this factory reference variable, I'm going to create this entity manager object. Then entity transaction, let it transaction equal to okay. So by using this manager, I'm going to create this transaction get transaction. Okay, then so the scenario was to fetch the details, student details whose age is greater than 22, right? So for that, I need to write a query string s equal to oh yeah. So I need to use it later. Okay, so then okay, select s from student where so s dot okay, so I need to check what is the variable name I have given for age. Okay, so the variable name I have given for age is age. Let me use the same thing. So let me use the variable name as age, age whose age is greater than placeholder I will use and give the position as something. Okay, then I will go for creating. Okay, so I will invoke this manager dot create query by passing the query. Okay, so I just declared the variable name as s. Okay. Then let me create an object for query query equal to this one. Okay, so I need to import it from the Java X persistence package. Okay, so this interface, the query interface object, which was given from this create query, or which helps us to set the parameters, was present inside this Java X persistence. I will import it from there. Okay, then once that is done, I will use this query reference variable and set the parameter. Okay, so set the parameter. So the position is one, and what is the value I need to set? Okay, so I need to get the age of the student whose value is greater than 22. Or sorry, whose age is greater than 22. So then, yeah, so then I will use this query dot get result set result list. Okay, not result set result list, and it will return me a list of student. Okay, so students list will be returned from this query. Okay, so list of list of student will be returned from this query. Now I will just go for using a simple for each loop and iterate over that students, and then I will use a SOP simple SOP statement and print that student details. Yeah, so print the student details. Okay, so let me your so why issue I have given question mark one inquiry. Hey, that is the placeholder, and this is the placeholder position I need to mention here. Okay, so this is the placeholder position I'm mentioning as one, and okay, so I will replace this by using this setup. Okay, some exception. Unexpected token. Okay, let me check this one and this. It's a network. Okay, sorry. That was this is the reason. Student alias I didn't create it. That was the reason. Yeah. So now we can expect this answer. Yeah. So in my table, I have only one data. Okay. So it's, age. Yeah. Uh, okay. So in my table, I have only one user information. Okay. So whose age is greater than 22. Okay. So let us go for fetch the age who's less than 22. Okay. So less than 22. I will run this program. Okay, so let us see how many age. Yeah, so we are going to receive all the student, almost all the student except one, I think. Yeah, except two students. I am not getting that. Okay, so Dinga age is 21, Dingy age is 20, Kavita's age is 21, Sangeeta's age is 21. Okay, yeah, so age is less than 21. I am getting this. Fine. So this is the implementation, guys. Yeah. Okay, so guys, let us understand an annotation called at the rate table. Okay, sorry, yeah. So, what is the use of this annotation at the rate table? Suppose, assume that I'm going to create a simple one more DAO. Okay, so I'm going to create an DAO. One second, I will take an example. Yeah, so let me take an example as a car. Okay, so yeah, car. Yeah, so let us take a car as the my entity class. Okay, or a Pojo class. Let us make it as a Pojo class. Okay, and I will go for use an annotation called as entity. Okay, so I will make use of an annotation called as entity for this class. Okay, then as usual. Okay, so I need to have this one like primary key. Okay, so I'll declare int id as our primary key. Okay, so id is then I will give the name for the car, private of type string. I'll go for giving a name for the car. Then I will go for give the cost. Okay, so cost for the car. Private cost in the form of double. I will be mentioning. Okay, so double cost fine. Then I will go for declare one more variable as type string brand of the car. Okay, so these are the fields I will be maintaining. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I will just mention these are the field. Okay. Now, so to me, I will go for add a no parameterized constructor here. Okay. So I will add a no parameterized constructor inside this my class. So then, so once I added the no parameterized constructor, then I will go for using the getters and setters. Okay. So I'll just go for making use of getters and setters for my class. Yeah, so getters and setters has been added successfully. Yeah, I need to make one field as primary key, right? So I need to make one field as primary key. So what I'm going to do is I will use an annotation by the name as at the rate ID. Okay, so at the rate ID. Now, inside my MySQL. Okay, so guys, have you seen that inside MySQL? Like, okay, so we have sorry, yeah, so we have created that student. Yeah, so we have created this student class and we have asked my Hibernate to create a table inside my student inside my RTMS application. Okay, I will check what is the table name it has been given. Which I will check. Okay, so yeah, something will be there no anytime. Fine. So inside this, I have that student table. Okay, so it is creating in all the lowercase. Okay, so it is creating in all lowercase student, right? So now I don't want. Okay, so now for this car, okay, I don't want to create the table name as car. Okay, so instead of that, I will be creating a table. Okay, so I want to create the table name as cars. Okay, so cars. Okay, so cars. I want to create inside my database. Okay, inside your like in this my Java program, it has to be car, but inside my RDBMS application, that name has to be okay. So instead of car, the name has to be cars. Okay, so for that, okay, to make the table name as cars, we have an annotation by the name as table. Okay, so there is an annotation by the name as table which specifies. Okay, so there is an attribute inside this table annotation as name. Okay, so which helps us to give a particular table name for a particular entity. Okay, so now I am instead of car, I will give the name of the table as cars. Okay, so I'm going to give the name of the table as cars. Okay, and instead of this name, okay, so instead of this name attribute, okay, so the field or the column name, I need to mention inside my RDBMS application as at the rate column. Sorry, I need to mention it as a car name. Okay, so for that we have an annotation called as column. Okay, so column. Inside this also again we have a name attribute. So just I will mention the name of this particular column as car name. Okay, so I'll just mention it as a car name. That's all. Okay, so this is what we need to. Okay, so this is the one annotation at the right table. Okay, so as cars and column name, car name. Okay, so I have given. Okay, and yeah, so instead of this cost, okay, so I can go with just as a price. I will just go with using annotation like column, and I will give the name as price. Okay, so price for that car. Cool. Okay, cool. Now let me create a simple one more test C. Okay, so class test C. Okay, where I will add the main method and it again entity manager factory transaction. Okay, so these are three fields I need to have. So just I will copy and paste it to my class test C from test A, test B. Okay, so here I will just create a simple car object. So car, yeah. So car equal to new car. Okay. Then I will use this reference variable car dot set ID. Okay. So I need to set the ID. I will set the ID as 101, and then car. Yeah. So dot set the name. Okay. So name of the car. Ada kanguru. Okay. So which one? Group Punch is there. Okay, so from Tata's, we have a car, something called as like Punch, right? So MCH. Okay, so I'll give the car name as Punch. Okay. And the brand of the car is okay. So car dot brand. Sorry, set brand. Okay, so brand of the car. Okay, so Tata. So it is a Tata's brand and car dot set cost. Okay, so cost is around like 7 lakh something is there. Okay, so initial rate is 7 or something is there. Okay, so let us go with the 7 lakh. Um, so 7 lakh point zero zero I will just mention. Yeah. So once I created the car object, then I will just go for save this one. Okay, so to perform the save, I'm just beginning the transaction, and I will use sorry, I will use the manager dot persist the car object. Then I will go for transaction dot commit. Okay. Okay. So these are the things. Let me run this program and let us see what is the output we are going to receive. Yeah. So table has been created. Okay, so insert operation has been done successfully. Okay, let us check in my database. Okay, so what is the name has been created. Okay, so just I will refresh. Yeah, you can see the name here. I'm getting the name as cars. Okay, so I'm getting the name as cars. And if I run this, okay, so here you can see the cost ID. Okay, so it is there, brand, data, price. Okay, so in our Java program it is cost, but here it is price, and the name is car name I have given here. Okay, now I will try to inject one more another two details second, and here you guys need to understand. Okay, so one is punch, then okay, Nexona, so the data's. So, and what is the price of it? Nexon's price, unroad price. Yeah. Okay. So Nexonus is also again like 7.79 lakh is there. So Punch was 6 lakh. So it's a 7.79. Okay. So just I will change to 7. 9. Okay. Fine. Okay. On-road price was, yeah, in lakhs. Okay. Now let me run this and see. Okay, and let us go for giving the one more car name whose name is Safari. Okay, so on road price is like around 15 lakh 65,000 it is there. So just I will go for 15,000, sorry, 15 lakh 65,000 it is there. I will inject this one also. Okay, so I done some changes. Save. Okay, click save that one. And one more. And let us take more, another brand. Okay, so it's one dice I-20. We will see. Okay, so yeah, Rari is there, but it's what is the I-20 model? Okay, yeah, I-10 4 lakh, I-20 5 lakh. So one more 4 instead of Safari. Okay, so Honda is I-20, and the brand is from Honda. Hyundai. Okay, and the price. They're giving the prices. So I like, okay, so let it be as it is and try to save this one. Yeah, injected now. Okay, so now let us see in the table. Yeah, so we have received all the values. Okay, now let us give a search. Okay, so let us go for search the based on the price. Okay, so yeah, so let us write a query to fetch the list of cars. Okay, so whose car value is less than 7 lakh. Okay, so less than 7 lakh 10,000. Now let us write a query to fetch the car details whose price is less than 7 lakh 10,000. Okay, so I'm going to write a query here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just create one more class as D test D. Okay, so here I need to write the query, right? So I need this all three: entity manager, factory, and transaction. Okay, so now I will go for writing the query. So string s equal to, okay, so select C from what is the entity name we have created? Okay, so the entity name is car. Okay, so I'll just make use of this car. Yeah, so let's select from car. Okay, so where, yeah, so as alias C, where C dot. Okay, so now I said like I need to fetch the detail based on the price. Okay, but what is the variable name we have in our Java class? The variable name is cast. The variable name is cast. Okay, so we need to mention this variable name here. Okay, so cast is greater than, and I will use the placeholder as one. Okay, so greater than this value. Then, as usual, by using this manager, I'm going to hit the transaction. Okay, so by using this manager, I'm going to, sorry, not get, begin, sorry, will create a query. Okay, so create query by using this manager. Okay, so I will pass this query and I will create an object for the query. Okay, so I will import from the java x.possession.query. And once that is done, okay, so I need to set the values, right? So query dot set parameter position is one, and the value I need to set is 7,10,000. So, so it is become like 1,071,000. Now I will add one more, 7,10,000, right? Yeah, fine. So then I will zero. Yeah, so it is there perfectly. Okay, then I will go for uh, okay, so on this query, we have a method like get result list. Okay, so I will invoke this and it will return me a list of car object. Okay, so it is going to return me a list of car object. I will just mention it as cars. Done. Okay, so list from java.util package, car from DTO. Okay, then on this list, I will just try to iterate. Yeah, so each for each loop, and I will try to iterate. And yeah, I will try to print. I will try to print the car dot get ID. Okay, so I will try to print the ID first. Then okay, so I will just give a space. Okay, so I will use slash tab so that it will give a tab space. Then I will use this car dot get name of the car. Okay, so then plus I will use again two tabs so that it will be moved to the, so some, yeah, two tab, yeah, spaces will be given. Plus then car dot get cost. Okay, or let us go with the brand name brand. Then I will go with again two tab space plus I will go for giving the car dot get the price for the cost. Okay, large not the end. I'm just displaying the cost. Okay. So once that is done, then I will just add and I will go for the next line. Okay, so just I will add this comment to so that I can go for the next line. That's all. Okay, so this is the implementation I need to provide. Yeah, let us run this and see what is the output we are going to receive. Yeah, so we are getting the details, right? You can see here. Yeah, we are getting two car. Okay, the 102 and Nexana, which is Tata's company. The price is like 7 lakh 79. Yeah, so 7 lakh 79,000. Okay, so greater than. Yeah, I've written the symbol as greater than. That is the reason I'm getting these two details. Okay, so greater than 77 lakh 10,000. Okay, I used to get the less than, right? So just I will change the symbol and we will run this one. Okay, so if I run, yeah, again I'm getting two details. Okay, so one is again Punch, whose cost is 7 lakh, and the second one car name is I'm getting I-20, whose yeah brand is Hyundai, and the price we can see the price is 56. Sorry, 5 lakh 65,000. Okay, so that was the information which was present in database. Guys, did you observe here? Did you observe here? So here in the select query, you can see I have taken the entity class name, not the table name. Okay, so I have taken. So guys, here I have taken the entity class name. Okay, so I'm not taking the table name. So okay, so yeah, in JPQL query, we need to mention entity class name, not a table name. That is the one thing I want to inform you. Okay, so that is the, and second again. So here I'm taking the variable name. Okay, so in the JPL query, I need to mention entity class name and the variable name, not the table name or the column name which is present inside our database. Clear? Do you have any doubts here? So in the JPQL query, we need to take entity class name and variable name, not the table name or the column name. So you guys want the code of car, test C, tester D. Fine. I'll just share the Eclipse. Right. Yeah, guys, the code has been shared in the classroom. You can get it down, get and download there. Fine. And if you have any issue, anything, okay, so you can let me know here. Yeah. Then, wow, so many. Yeah. So, guys, I think like announcements will be there. Okay. So I don't know. They are not picking the call. If you are there, just you can take over. Yeah, guys. I think like requirement announcement is there. Just wait for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning, guys. This is Pallavi from Web Online. So today I'm here to announce few requirements here as well as your upcoming class. So we are going to start aptitude class from teachers minimum from tomorrow onwards. I'll be shared that link also. Please check your chat box once. I'm posting that link. So first link will be the afternoon 1 to 3 is there 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and second link will be the evening 7 to late evening 7 to 9 is there. Whichever is convenient and comfortable, you can go ahead with that class, guys. So I'm sharing my screen now. So yeah, take down this, guys. Here is the requirement for trainee software engineer in Hyderabad. Those who already complete your Core Java J2EE, and you can go ahead with this. And excellent communication skill and strong coding is required. 2022 passed out is required, guys, for this required. BE BTech is required. Yeah, advanced Java, maybe within next week you will get. Within next week you will get another. This is advanced Java, no? This class. So guys, take down this also. Here is a requirement for yeah, software developer trainee at Chennai. Those who already complete your SQL and web technologies, you can apply for this requirement. For this requirement, BE, BTech, BCA, BSc student can also apply. Stream, year of password should be 21 and 22. Interview date will let you know, guys. Please get prepared for the interview. Once interview scheduled from company, we will send you for the interview, and also we'll get a call from our side only. Done. Guys, take down this also. So this is a generic requirement, guys. This is a generic requirement. Based on your degree you can apply, and also company will hire you based on your degree. So here is the requirement for a BSc, BCom, BBM and BCA. And second requirement, those who already complete your Java, J2EE, Spring, Hibernate, SQL, you can apply for that. Done now, guys. Shall I stop sharing my screen? Shall I? I'm stop sharing my screen now. So that's it from my hand, guys, and hope everyone got all the links, two links. Sneha, so as of now, Sneha, there is no Pune requirement. If it is there, I'll let you know. For the Pune location requirement, please contact HRs. Please get back to us. Uh, one. No, no extra fees. No extra fees current. Aptitude, both freshers and experienced student can attend. No extra fees. Yeah, that's it from my hand. Thank you, guys. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so that's all for today, guys. Have a nice day. If you have any doubts, you can ask, or else you can leave the session. Thank you.